All right, hello guys, how's it going? We should be live right now. I'm gonna have to try to find it on my phone like always. Already did, sweet. All right, we're gonna be talking about two topics today. We are going to be talking about, first off, the upcoming snow chances, and then second off, potentially also some situations with the Polar Vortex that's gonna be making an appearance likely as well. So two obviously pretty major topics that people are usually interested in. We're actually going to be using Weatherbell today instead of WSV3 because we're looking at models as opposed to radar and current events. So that's really cool. Weatherbell is awesome. I've contacted them before over numerous situations, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know the folks over there at Weatherbell. Just an absolutely great website, and I would recommend it to anybody who is looking for, just model guidance. And they're not a sponsor, by the way. I know it sounds like they are, but it's Jay. What's up? It's Jay. The cool thing about Diamond and Platinum patrons, this is just a side note, but I'm so used to saying you guys' names. Like, it literally will enter into my head. Like, it's great. Like, if I hear Jay, like, it's Jay comes to mind because I say it every single day. It's crazy. So, okay. So, the chat is getting very political. So, if anybody says anything political at this point, they're getting put in timeout. So I'm just timing out everybody because I don't want to talk about that. Let's see. That was an epic voice crack, by the way. Okay, so the first time somebody talks about politics, basically, they're getting put in timeout. The second time, they're getting banned from the channel entirely, which means you'll never be able to comment on any videos again or any of the live streams. So, sorry about that situation for the folks that didn't participate in all that. Okay. I think everybody's in timeout that was talking about politics. And I think everybody gets the point, too, that I know I can stop the chat, but I don't want to stop the chat. If you know what I mean. Like, I want to be able to talk to you guys. Yeah, I do like Pivotal Weather, actually. Weatherbell is just the best. Like, really, there's no competition. But I do like Pivotal Weather. I do like Tropical Tidbits. If you guys are, like, old viewers of my channel, you do know that I use Tropical Tidbits for a very, very long time. Now I'm not doing that as much anymore because I have Weatherbell. Let's see. So I guess what we'll do is we'll first off go over the European model. Does it sound good to everybody? So people are continuing to talk about politics. Shrek 2020, I'll let that one slide. I don't know if I can consider that politics, so. Also spamming Indiana. We'll get you put in timeout as well. Okay. All right. So let's get started with our first snowstorm. Model guidance, the interesting thing, has trended south. Okay, so I'm talking about since I made the video this morning. So let's just go ahead and move into this region. This is really the region in question. That snowfall in that corridor, I can actually open my pick here, which is very awesome. How's everybody doing, by the way? Feel free to comment anything as I'm going. So what's cool about pick here is you can use the whiteboard feature, which allows me to do this. Draw on the screen for you guys. So that's an area of heavy snowfall. Thank you, Captain Obvious, me. Let's see. So, as you can see, this one really gets suppressed to the south. Whereas at 60, you could see it was much further north here. What does this mean, really? It really just means these areas could see less snowfall. I don't think these areas are going to see snowfall either way. So, Generally, it's just the more northern areas missing out. Let's compare the temperatures though, just in case. 35, so generally around 35. If I switch it to 60, if anything, it's even warmer possibly. Um, the interesting thing is, let's move towards the GFS real quick. 12Z GFS. We should start to see some new model guidance come in eventually here. The NAM model is always the first to come in. But the GFS, look at that, further south too. And what they've been trending at too is this snow lingering well into the day Saturday, and that could play a major role in all of this as well. Snow for southeastern Virginia, it's honestly a boom or bust situation. Bust would be basically no flakes even. But even then, that's not even that unlikely at this point. But it could boom too. Like, I could see the potential for like 1 to 3 inches in southeastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina. I'm not even kidding. At this point, based on the model guidance that's come in this afternoon, I can see that there is a slim possibility of that happening. Let's see. Okay. So this was the GFS. Let's take a look at that total snowfall. And you see it's very suppressed amounts, but look at how, let's take a look at the 60 first off. Take a look at how far west this was. It was all over here. Nothing really making its way any further east or further south than that. But as we switch it towards 6Z, that came out 6 hours after. Look at how much further southeast that is. So there's been a trend towards the southeast. And if it doesn't stop, I mean, we could start to see areas like that I just drew in really get in on some of those blues very easily, or if there's more precipitation than we're expecting. We're still a couple of days away. That's what people don't know. I mean, we still have all day tomorrow, and then throughout the day, let's see, throughout the day on Friday, because we're not starting things out until later on Friday, so there's a lot that could change, and there's plenty of time for that to occur as well. Very interesting. Let's take a look here. Why is it on PicPic? So let's take a look at what our 12Z Canadian model had, and it's much further north, but that's what it's been doing basically this entire storm. It's been holding it much further north. If this ends up being correct, I'm going to be very impressed, honestly, because the Canadian model as an outlier is usually not a very good sign that it's onto something, but it could be the case this time around. From this first storm, no, Maine is not going to get any snowfall. Okay, quickly, well, I guess we should take a look at what the model... What in the world? Oh, they don't have that region. Gotcha. Okay, let's move into the Mid-Atlantic region. Nope, that's not going to cut it. Let's move into the Eastern region. A little zoomed out, but whatever. Using the Ensemble models to tell where the bullseye will set up is a very good idea because it's obviously normalized. So this bullseye, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that. With kind of this more eastern extent right here. Being a little bit more low probability, but also, again, just a boom or bust situation. If we just get a little bit more precipitation, a little bit colder air in there, it could easily turn into something more than it's looking like right now. As we take a look at those other members, there's obviously a lot of scenarios on the table. If you look at any individual one here, you can see there's plenty of scenarios. I see that bottom right one is very crazy. This one as well looks very crazy. So there's a lot of different things that could happen. Let's quickly move on to the European Ensemble model, and the interesting thing here is you'll notice again we're taking a look at 50 different model members here, and the bullseye is kind of in this region. But look, the average is about an inch here for these regions right here. So very quickly we've moved into a direction of these models all of a sudden. I mean, an inch that has a chance of accumulating once you're seeing an inch of snow falling. So if the trend continues in this direction overnight tonight and throughout the day today, I could see how this could extend all the way to the East Coast. The ocean is actually quite cold, so I wouldn't say it's out of the question at all, especially as we take a look, not at that, but at this. We will see that there is a few of these, especially this top left one there. You can see that brings snowfall all the way to Eastern Virginia. Same story with this one. This one, not quite blues like that top left one. This one is maybe a little bit closer as well as number 2 here. So there's just plenty of these models calling for that. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. Yeah, I see this top right one, middle right one. So there's just these members that are thinking it is possible. Okay, but then there's plenty of them also that don't have it possible. That's why it's so difficult at this point. Let's take a look at that NAM model quickly, and we have our 18Z run coming out as we're speaking. I'm like tripping on my own tongue there. Now, when I made my video this morning, the 6Z run was out, and it showed this. Okay, got it all the way to the eastern seaboard, but nothing crazy, right? Nothing for Southeast Virginia, nothing for Northeast North Carolina there as well. But what ends up happening as we switch to 12Z, or not 18Z, but 12Z, is it came in, and look, it kind of hits the similar regions, but it's just further southeast. Again, let me just switch back real quick. Or that was forward. Hold on. Okay. This is the 6Z, and then compare it to the 12Z. You can see it took a considerable tick south. What ends up happening is these areas in Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina, get kind of a surprise snowstorm here. They switch over to snow during the night, Friday into Saturday, and they stay snow throughout the morning, heavy snow actually, and then in the back end you get bay effect enhancement, which is kind of an exclusive weather feature there for the Chesapeake Bay. If you're not local to here, you probably never ever heard of it, but it eventually just moves out. All right, now we're gonna watch as the 18Z run comes out in just a moment, okay? Because that's gonna start to come out. I want to move on our European model and take a look at our next snowstorm threats. Okay, so this is the 12Z run. Take a look at that down there for Louisiana. The 3KM is, somebody asked, look at the 3KM model. We will watch that as it comes out as well. But we're extending to the end of this model run. It looks almost identical to the 12KM, but it just gets out this far. It doesn't go out any further. So as we switch to the 12Z, well, it keeps wanting to jump to this. But it takes pretty much the same track, except it only gets to about hour 60 right here, and then it stops. So we don't really know what it would do after that, but you're kind of pushing the boundaries of the accuracy there. Okay, let's go back to our European model. So we see this storm move in. Again, low probability with this down here, but if that was to occur, that would be crazy. And eventually it moves up. And on this run, it really just ends up being a minor event, as you can see. It really just, nothing really happens with it. And then we get another system there. That's a classic, look, this is a classic Clipper to Miller B nor'easter there. This would be plenty of snowfall for the Ohio Valley straight through the northeast, and it eventually turns into kind of a nor'easter there, as I mentioned. That's very, very cool. I love storms like that. Very, very fun. Okay. So, I'm sorry my throat is so dry, by the way. I have no idea. It's been like a week or two just like this, I think, from making so many videos. So the GFS has been showing this system very, very suppressed here for the 12th one, and it doesn't stop showing that. We have plenty of time for that to change, but as you can tell, there's many snow chances over the course of the next few weeks, and there's that polar vortex, guys. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but look at that deep cold. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but here's the temperature anomalies. As you can see, 30, 40 degrees below normal. So it packs a punch there. I mean, right now we're kind of in near normal temperatures, okay? Near normal, and it's pretty cold. See, just a little bit cold. Even as the snowstorm comes through, there's like some pretty marginal temperatures. Look at that compared to what we're dealing with now. I mean, so we're going to need to watch that closely. I wanted to show you what the European model was calling for just a couple of runs ago. Actually, you know what? I don't think we're going to have access to that anymore. So never mind. Yeah, because it did have that major snowstorm on yesterday's 12Z, but unfortunately, I do not think we're going to be able to go back that far. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and take a look at our polar vortex, I guess, because we're just waiting for that 12 km NAM to come out. And then I'm pretty much just going to close this one out. My throat is very dry. And that's pretty much all I had to talk about. This was never going to be a super long live stream like I would for severe weather or a current ongoing snowstorm or anything. But let's try to get just a peek into what that cold air could be like. And again, just pretty marginal temperatures are going to kind of persist. Again, in my January forecast, I mentioned that the southeast and Gulf states could have some cold to begin the month, even though surrounding regions would not. That seems to be a very good call so far. But deep cold for the second half of the month. And as you can see, the Ensemble model, it really is just very marginalized with it. We do get that cold shot here around the 19th. Let's see. The European Ensemble model does not have that cold air as soon, but you can tell it's definitely heading in. As we take a look at those teleconnections, it's very, very clear that we are in a serious cold pattern. Negative AO going to persist at least through the 21st, according to this one. The NAO is going to be negative through the 21st as well. I mean, really, really just an impressive pattern we find ourselves in here. PNA is going to be positive, but then by the 17th, potentially going negative there, which would mean cold entering the west. So we could see a little bit of cold for everybody. We could share that cold with, the folks over there on the west coast for sure. Let's see where we are with that NAM 12 km model. Just to get a little bit of an update here. Okay, we're getting a little more information in. It's not looking too different. It's looking like a little tick north, but nothing too major as far as differences there. So let's take a look at that GFS just like on the screen. Take a look at this polar vortex come in. Again, marginal. There's my throat again. Oh my goodness. It hurts so bad too when that happens. And then look, the cold air punches in kind of with a one punch, weaker punch, and then the second one comes in, and then the third one, and this third one just unleashes the cold on the entire eastern United States. And here's that 7-day temperature anomaly. So as you can see, just like really cold from the 15th through the 22nd, pretty much in these widespread regions. So really just cool. I mean, this is going to be an impressive pattern if we can see this set up this way. I do think it's likely that we do see some events like that with the polar vortex coming up soon in just a week or two. We've been tracking this for weeks and weeks here. We've known that the polar vortex was splitting and would make an appearance. So this is just kind of validating those thoughts that we've had for a while here. Let's just see where we're at with this. We're just going to watch this come out. This is the last thing we have to talk about today. Yeah, it's just been dry. That's it. A lot of talking. And I think just the drier weather. So I was outdoor a lot yesterday in the cold. So I think it's really just not helped. Let's see. I'm going to try to read some comments here. If anybody has any questions. Huge, massive cold air out of Canada that would generate a polar vortex. It's gonna be very, very cold, guys. I really do think so if that does play out that way. I'm gonna try drinking some water. Which state do I live in? I'm located in Virginia. Yes, it is likely to snow in North Carolina for many, many regions upcoming this weekend. Let's see if we can't get... I wonder if Tropical Tidbits is coming out faster. We'll check that out. I bet it is. Usually you do see it come out a bit faster. 32, 33. So we're actually getting a bit more information here. Okay. We're going to wait on this. It is going to come out. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, if you're new to the channel, I know a lot of you are probably just subscribers, but you can always hit that subscribe button and join us for future streams. We upload videos every single day as well. And also, if you want to, you can hit that super chat button. Never feel inclined to do so, but that is on the bottom right-hand corner if you did want to do that. Let's see. Do I think DC will get some snow? When, though? T-Mac, I hope you get better. You're saying it like I'm sick. I mean, I'm not sick. I just have a little bit of a dry throat when I talk. I think the thing is, when I'm talking with my YouTube voice like this, I very much so project. So it just leads to a little bit more tendency for me to just get a really crackly voice. Abdul said, what is the coldest temperature that will reach New York City due to the polar vortex? There's absolutely no way to tell because it's so far out. It's impossible to get into specifics like that. But we will definitely make a video on that as it gets closer and closer. But for now, it's, not worth mentioning the specifics at this point. Okay, looks like we have one more frame. Sweet. Yeah, definitely a tick north. Let's take a look at those temperatures, see if we can tell. Yeah, definitely warmer too. Definitely. So it's gone back kind of what it was showing on the 6Z. It was a lot colder on the 12Z. Again, just a little bit warmer there on that 18Z run. Thank you, Alfonso Peacock, for the $3 donation. I appreciate it a lot. It's impossible to say how much snowfall I think you'll get next week. Everything is on the table at this point. Also, you guys, if you want, you could join our Facebook group, Weather Freaks. That's where we talk all about the weather basically daily. I'm always in there. We have an awesome community. I think we have like 3,500 members, so I highly recommend that. What about the RGEM model? The RGEM model, I do not think it goes out far enough, but we will check. I usually start paying attention to the RGEM model a little bit later. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. So what really needs to happen is that for these areas to see snowfall, it needs to pull up the coast, but also be south like this, which is just so hard to see that happen. It's just very, very low odds usually, unfortunately. It's just not cold enough there on that RGEM model there during that time frame. Here we are by... And look, it's not looking as north anymore, so that just shows how these bump around all the time. But definitely still just warmer. Let's see. All right. This is a very, very slow process, guys, watching the models come out. That's the thing, like, when you are so excited and you really want to know, like, it takes a long time. It's going to take us a while to get some frames in here. That's why I love waking up in the morning, because I get to see the whole 0Z run and then the whole 6Z run, usually. Usually the 6Z run is coming out right as I'm waking up. Oh, it can definitely change a lot before this event occurs, rest assured. Nothing is set in stone until, like, nothing is ever set in stone, but you start to get a lot of confidence, like, I would say not until, like, the day of. If it's a nighttime event, which they usually are, I'm not feeling confident until that afternoon, really. So I'm not gonna feel good until um probably for this one, probably Thursday evening. Honestly, a lot of it is going to be occurring Friday or Thursday night into Friday. Will Virginia Beach get snow on Friday? It is possible. It's not looking very likely at this point, but I do see the potential for, like, just a really big surprise event, honestly. But it just depends on a lot, so we're going to be watching that closely. There you go. We got this frame. Yeah, definitely a pretty solid tick north there. Let's take a look at the temperatures. Ooh, still 36. It was 32 on this run for a lot of regions in here. Well, I guess 35. You can definitely tell it's just a little bit warmer. But the good thing is on 18Z runs, it's usually just a resample, so it's not as legitimate as a 0Z or a 12Z. Let's see. Sometimes they come out in bunches, but it's not giving us an easy time here. Well, there's another one, so I spoke too soon. Now it's kind of looking similar. Yeah, that's not half bad. I honestly, that just goes to show, like, how these events go, but that's not half bad. What I want to do is compare it to the 6Z, and it's definitely still south and stronger of the 6Z, which is good news for snow lovers there in North Carolina and Virginia especially. We already took a look at the Polar Vortex. It's kind of just a brief segment of this video. There's not a lot to say at this point. So you can go ahead and rewind, I think, is what you would be able to do. Let's try to refresh this. Yep, we're not going to get that. Let's see. How many frames? Yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, guys. Well, I think my voice is pretty much shot at this point, guys. I would love to stay on here, but tomorrow morning we're going to be talking about all these snow events, so I hope to see you guys there. We're we're definitely going to be going over this storm, and I'll be able to give you guys the updates of what ends up happening with this model run. For now, you can also go over to Tropical Tidbits and check it out as well. But it's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. My throat is just not feeling it. This morning I felt better, so I thought I'd be able to do a lot better, but yeah, just not a day where I'm like, I just want to talk a ton, you know? Well, here's hour 48. Let's go over this first. Yeah, definitely north. Definitely snowier, though, so interesting. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, guys. This has been a nice, quick little live stream. It's always a lot of fun doing these with you guys, and I want to do more in the future. So, yeah. I will see you guys soon. Be sure to subscribe if you want to watch more videos by us, more live streams, and be a part of everything. I'll see you guys in the next one.